The story begins as Navin waits up late to call his wife. His wife, Mattia, a journalist, asks if he still remembers. She reveals the street kid from that memory vanished a week ago. Navin begs her to just come home instead. Mattia sneaks into a building, following the sound of a child crying. She gasps, spotted by armed guards inside. A guard shouts that she's been found, and the chase is on. An arrow cuts through the air and strikes. Pak Lung, the ring's clean-cut handler, sighs over the boy's body. He blames Mattia directly, calling the boy dead because of her. Pak Lung orders his men to take Mattia downstairs and question her. Meanwhile, in the Philippines, a father hammers away building a home. He asks his daughter where she's headed this early. She has to get to work, but tells him to sleep in. She asks if she can come to work with him instead. Her narration explains her dad works non-stop and can't always be around. He scolds her for not wearing the steel-toe boots he bought her. She teases him to make a finger heart for her camera. She's due back in China in 2 days, so time is short. She warns him to watch his old head injury. They say a quick goodbye to a customer before parting ways. At a stall, a debt collector demands cash from an old woman. He shouts at her to stop counting and just hand it over. The father mutters in Mandarin that bullying an old lady is outrageous. Back home, his daughter pleads with him. She offers to stay and help him instead of flying back. He's found a buyer out of Eastport, a rich one. Navin says 3 kids would be a piece of cake. Navin says he needs a favor in return. He asks for a meeting with the man's boss. At the father's home, a broadcast covers Mattia Pham's disappearance. In archive footage, Mattia argues the kidnappings aren't isolated incidents. She points out, every missing kid comes from the same poor neighborhoods. She calls it a coordinated effort, targeting the city's poorest kids. Police decline to comment, as Rainey keeps training nearby. Back in the Philippines, the father pushes his daughter to keep training. Later, a woman urges the daughter to cut her hair short. She refuses, insisting she'll look terrible. Her classmates already call her a tomboy because of it. Her father says he'd rather she survive than be pretty. He admits he can't always be around to protect her. She snaps back that she only trains to spend time with him. She never even liked Kung Fu itself. She begs him to come back to China with her instead. She cries that her mom died, and now he's leaving her too. She screams that he never loved her. A stranger tells her yelling won't make her father chase after her. Nearby, a strange man asks the daughter if she speaks Chinese. He claims his sister was hit by a car and needs help. She follows him, worried, deeper down the street. He tells her to slow down and asks about her leg. He grabs her without warning and she screams. In Filipino, a trafficker complains one kid is barely worth it. They shove her into a waiting truck. Her father comes tearing after the truck on foot. Horns blare as he cuts straight through traffic. Inside the truck, a trafficker orders him dragged off the road. He fights through them, but they overpower him. The truck peels away with his daughter still trapped inside. He staggers up, hearing men yelling for him to stop. His daughter Rainey, trained to fight but terrified now, screams for him. A trafficker orders someone to grab her before she can escape. Tires screech as the truck speeds off, her still calling for him. He collapses in the street, breathing hard. Sirens wail as he staggers into a nearby shop, bleeding. The shopkeeper tells him he's bleeding on the counter. He's pointed toward a hospital down the street instead. He scrawls a note describing a big bald guy from the attack. A clerk tells him to sit and wait to report a crime. An officer barks at him not to act up again. Someone mentions a kidnapping but says he was told to just wait. He has a license plate and a description of the attacker. The captain says it doesn't look like a real report to him. He decides to hang on to the paperwork instead of acting. So the case is quietly shelved. No driver's license, no job history, no criminal record turns up. It's like he appeared out of thin air. She guesses he's probably a fugitive. Elsewhere, Rainey calls out for her dad, alone. A cop leans in and demands to know who he really is. Meanwhile, at an underground fight club, a crowd cheers on 2 brawlers. A referee waves the next round to start. Just stay cool, have a drink, and he'll agree to anything. A big man is told to get up. They brought a guest. Navin, posing as a supplier's partner, greets the room with a smile. Song, the club's trafficker boss, sizes up his new guest. Song asks if 30 kids for the weekend is really the ask. He explains it isn't a party, It's shrimp boats out of Eastport. Song balks, comparing 30 kids to shipping a whole school bus. Navin offers triple the market price to make it worth Song's time. All of it paid in cash, in dollars. But Navin adds one condition. He has to handpick every kid himself. Song laughs it off, saying that's not how this works. Navin insists he just needs to make sure of the quality. Song mocks him for wanting to shop around like a fruit stand. A guard suddenly grabs Navin, demanding to know who he really is. He accuses Navin of being too stupid for his payroll. Navin insists he's just a messenger for his partner. He warns them they're wasting his partner's time. Song decides he likes Navin's nerve after all. He offers to personally take Navin to pick the kids himself. But guards outside stop them, calling it an invitation-only party. Suddenly, someone spots a gun in the crowd. Panic spreads as the crowd starts screaming. A thug shouts for men to kill whoever's holding it. Downstairs, a guard warns Song about a gunman in the building. Navin insists that has nothing to do with him, but the order comes anyway. Kill him now. Navin is forced to fight his way through Song's men. He drops one thug after another as the club descends into chaos. Spectators outside chant for the fight to end in blood. Bones crack as Navin breaks free of another attacker. A microphone shrieks with feedback overhead. One thug mocks him to enjoy the party. Navin snaps another attacker's neck. The silent father has fought his way into the club too. Mistaking Navin for one of Song's men, he grabs him. Navin shouts for him to wait. He isn't one of Song's men. He tells the silent father they're both looking for someone. Sirens close in, so Navin urges them to get out together. Guards outside pound on the door, calling for backup. Navin promises he can show him everything he knows. Elsewhere, Song accuses a young informant of vouching for a rat. Song orders the boy to come watch his own father die. The boy begs, insisting he's sorry. He cries that he doesn't want to die. The grieving boy is accused of setting them up. He's asked again and again why he did it. He's called an idiot for trusting Song's men. The other kids call him an idiot right back. One captor warns that bad ones get punished. Another orders them shipped out alive instead. The silent father asks if Navin knows a mute fighter named Ho. Ho, he learns, was thrown into Song's ring young, as a joke. Navin recognizes the same man. Mr. Song, you know him too? He apologizes for the mess, saying he's been living back here. He explains Song is the biggest human trafficker in the city. His wife, a journalist, gathered everything they now have on Song's operation. She went missing while investigating this very case. Navin says her name is Mattia. He lays out her photos for the silent father to see. One shows a birthday card reading, "Happy birthday, Daddy." Navin admits he hasn't gone through everything Mattia left behind. She'd learned Song moves the kids around while vetting buyers. Something on the photos suddenly catches the silent father's eye. Navin recognizes it too. Same truck. The refrigeration truck makes deliveries everywhere, hiding in plain sight. Its insulation would make the cargo completely soundproof. The factory is only an hour outside the city, so they go. At the factory, Navin can't believe it's all in plain sight. The silent father moves to rush in, but Navin stops him. Charging in won't save his daughter, so they wait. Guards suddenly notice movement outside the fence. One shouts for them to get out of here. Men swarm out from every side of the building. The silent father crashes through the first wave of guards. He snaps one man's neck without breaking stride. He growls that trespassing isn't allowed on his father's land. Song himself opens fire, screaming for the intruder to die. He shouts that they're standing in his own house now. He laughs, daring them to eat lead and die. A guard recognizes the silent father from before. "You again?" The silent father calls back, feinting one way to strike the other. Song screams as the fight finally turns against him. Ho, the mute fighter Song raised from a child, joins the fight. A strange battle cry echoes through the warehouse. A frightened child sobs somewhere nearby. Bones crunch as the brawl grinds on. Navin pulls the silent father off Song before he can finish him. A gunshot rings out. "Are you crazy?" Navin argues Song is still their only lead. Killing him now won't bring his daughter home any closer. "She might still be alive," Navin insists, "and they're getting closer to her every hour." The captain tells him a fight broke out at the factory. He guesses it's the Chinese mute, still searching for his daughter. The old man will want to know exactly how security failed. Pak Lung insists he takes that responsibility seriously. He lies that the factory was already empty when they hit it. A few men died, he admits, but nothing of value was lost. He promises to cover any extra cost from his own earnings. Off the phone, Pak Lung mutters that this fool is reckless. Back at the factory, Song is strapped down and shocked. Navin calls out. They need him awake, not dead. He says he'll handle the questioning himself. Navin tells Song he's been investigating him for months. His friend behind him just wants his little girl back. If Song won't talk, the whole world will know his name. Even if they let him live, Song won't last long either way. He sneers, asking if Navin knows what happened to the last reporter. He warns that reporters get in way over their heads. The silent father snaps, demanding to know if Song means his wife. He orders Song to tell him what he knows right now. Song insists over and over that he doesn't know anything. The silent father shocks him again with the wire. Song finally gasps. He heard about her from the snake pit. He warns that no one gets out of that place alive. Inside the snake pit, Rainey tells a boy there's no way out. She says they won't know that unless they actually try. The boy begs her not to drag him into it. If they don't try, Rainey argues, they're dead for sure anyway. He says he's never had a real home to go back to. He watched traffickers kill his own family. Rainey tells him if she escapes, he can come home with her. He calls her crazy for even saying it. At the pier, Song orders his men to get the boat ready. Pak Lung meets him there. Where are you going, Mr. Song? He asks if Song's really heading to the boats now. Pak Lung presses. What did you tell the Chinese mute? Back in the snake pit, a guard checks on the children. He calls for Rainey to come down. They're asking for her. She and the boy bolt the moment his back is turned. Rainey shouts for him to just go. Navin starts a live stream under his missing wife's account. He's been posting as Madia for months to keep her story alive. He repeats his name and hers for the camera. He says he's streaming from a place called the Snake Pit. He believes she's trapped inside it too. He begs anyone watching to share the stream. They need people on the street if they're going to expose this. He reacts in disbelief at what's on screen. Inside, Rainey finally reaches her father and breaks down. She sobs an apology over and over. She insists she wants to go back for the other kids. She says they'll be killed, and it'll be her fault. Her father tells her she did great. Rainey? He asks her where the rest of the kids are. She says they're locked in a room upstairs. He tells her he'll take it from here. He tells her to just go home. Navin says he'll stay behind instead. Her job is done, but his isn't. He orders the guard to get her out of there now. In Filipino, a guard radios for backup. Intruders at the snake pit. Outside, officers scramble looking for the source of the stream. The captain shouts for Sergeant Yadong to stand down. Yadong argues there's video of children being held right there. The captain orders him to clear the street and forget it. An officer moves to block Yadong from pushing forward. He's told flatly to stand aside. Yadong asks the captain if he can really be serious. Inside, a guard shouts that the intruders are already upstairs. A trafficker orders the kids kept together. We're leaving. The children scream as they're dragged toward the exit. Rainey fights back against the men pulling her along. She breaks free hard enough to snap a man's grip. In Mandarin, she calls to her father that they're here to help. Guards grab for her again as she yells. A bone snaps as her father clears a path through them. Rainey says some of her friends are still trapped upstairs. The boy she saved shouts for her to wait. Rainey urges the kids on. Let's go! Hurry! Run! He asks in Mandarin why she came back after already escaping. She says he may not have family, but he still has friends. He calls her an idiot, and she calls them all idiots too. Trapped kids look down from a high ledge, unsure how. Rainey tells them to use a makeshift rope instead. In Filipino, kids shout to tie the knots tight. She calls down for them to climb slowly. A bystander woman begs police to let them help. She shouts that it's the kids they should be worried about. Rainey waves the next child down the rope. A crowd member accuses the cops of doing nothing. They shout that officers are cowards for not saving the kids. Yadong turns to his own squad instead. Come with me. Yadong tells him he can't deny what's actually happening. An officer is ordered to take Sasha away for defying the captain. The captain orders Sasha to stand down instead. I'm ordering you. The captain barks for his sergeant one more time. Yadong orders his squad to cover the exit. The boy tells Rainey it's finally her turn to climb down. He thanks her, saying he owes her his life. She tells him she'll see him outside. A guard is cut down trying to stop the last kids. People scream as gunfire erupts near the exit. The boy calls out, worried, "Rainey, are you okay?" She calls back that she's fine. A gunshot rings out as guards try to retake the exit. Police finally storm in, ordering everyone to freeze and drop their weapons. A guard radios for a medic to help the kids. An officer tells a rescued child not to be afraid anymore. An officer asks if Rainey's father was found inside too. He's told she's the journalist whose reporting led them there. A news report says, unrest broke out during the live-streamed rescue. Dozens of trafficked children were pulled from a building downtown. The building is tied to local tycoon Kun Tai Luo. A phone rings, cutting the broadcast short for someone watching. At the mansion, a woman is warned her father wants her. The captain, her husband, is summoned to face the old man. He's told the police captain is here to take him into custody. The old man says, as one father to another, this disgusts him. Guns or drugs he could understand, but not children. He asks why loyalty only counts when the money's good. Pak Lung snaps that he warned them this one was trouble. Now they're all left cleaning up his mess. The captain is seized, screaming that he's still a cop. The old man reminds him he brought him into this family. He gave him his own daughter, and this is the repayment. He runs him through with a blade himself. His daughter can only ask why, over and over. At the station, an officer hands Navin his statement to sign. She says she can testify he acted in self-defense, but she can't officially release him until bail is granted. She promises they'll look after his daughter until then. She asks Navin who he really is. He tells her simply, "I'm just a father." Later, the silent father visits Navin at the station. All because Rainey chose to go back for them. Navin admits Mattia called the night she disappeared. He'd wanted to leave the country and start over somewhere safe. Basically, he wanted to save themselves. But she was obsessed with finding the missing kids instead. He never realized how close she'd gotten until she was already gone. He hopes that when he finds her, she can forgive him. Elsewhere, a colleague praises Navin's work today. She jokes and asks if that means a promotion. The silent father tells Rainey it's time to go home. A guard warns them they only have 5 minutes. At their new house, guards posing as workers complain about the renovation. One offers to go check the breaker box. A gunman cocks his weapon just out of sight. He guns the guard down as thunder covers the shot. More gunshots ring out through the house. A gunman warns Rainey not to make a sound. She murmurs that her father's in danger. The gunman orders her to stay still and not move. 2 more gunshots ring out upstairs. Her father shouts for her to find the key. He urges her to hold on just a little longer. He tells her to keep pushing. An armed man is ordered to stop right where he stands. Police demand he put down his weapon. Navin is down and groaning nearby, badly hurt. Rainey calls out for her dad in the chaos. Pak Lung finally faces the silent father. "You must be the mute." He says he was going to become a father once too. He blames the silent father for taking that future away from him. The two collide in a brutal close-quarters fight. The silent father shouts for Rainey to run. "Go! Hurry!" She screams as she's dragged back from him. He shouts once more for her to go. Neither one lets up in the fight. Later, Rainey is still running hard, breathing heavily through the storm. She stumbles, groaning, but forces herself back up. A broken arrow clatters to the ground beside her. She keeps straining forward despite the pain. Someone screams that the silent father killed their father. Ho yells, still fighting on Pak Lung's side for now. Pak Lung turns on Ho instead. "Your father?" He mocks Ho for believing that cowboy was ever really his father. He tells Ho flatly that he was never Song's son. Pak Lung cuts him off with a scream. Rainey shouts at Pak Lung that he's evil. The fight grinds on without pause. Ho, shaken by the truth, finally turns against Pak Lung's men. He stabs one of them, done following orders. Pak Lung sneers at Navin, needling him about the reporter. He asks if Navin gave her that ring she wore. Then he confirms it. She died very slowly. He throws something at Navin. "You want this? Take it back." He goads Navin forward. "Come on." Navin slashes back at him in a rage. Pak Lung finally goes down, wounded badly. He roars in defiance despite the wound. Someone screams as the fight reaches its worst point. Ho, dying, calls out weakly to his friend, saying he found her. His voice trails off before he can finish. Pak Lung grabs Rainey, telling her father he'll finally see a daughter die. The father calls out to check if Rainey is okay. Pak Lung tells him this is simply his fate now. He orders him to just accept it. A bone crunches as the father breaks free of the threat. Pak Lung yells, refusing to give up the fight. Rainey calls out for her dad again. She begs the men to stop fighting. She screams for her father, panicking. Rainey screams dad, while the boy beside her screams uncle. She begs him to wake up, not to fall asleep. The boy joins in, begging him not to die. Pak Lung retches, finally beaten. In his last delusion, he murmurs that he has to get home. He mutters about a wife and daughter who are already gone. The father simply tells him, "Hey, see you." Pak Lung says his unborn child's name one last time, Mirai. Rainey and the boy rush to her father's side. "Dad!" The three of them sit together, saying nothing. At the water, Navin tells him they brought down the entire ring. He admits he still doesn't even know his friend's real name. The silent father finally answers, "Wang Wei. If you're brave enough to change yourself, you can change the world." He says it like a name now, Wang Wei. Later, Rainey is dressed up, and Wang Wei calls her pretty. She asks if he'll finally tell her his story. He begins, "When I first met your mother,